The sun was slowly setting over a small village in Punjab. Golden rays stretched across the fields, creating a peaceful glow that covered everything in sight. Children ran through dusty roads laughing while farmers returned home after a long day of work. The evening breeze carried the scent of fresh soil and blooming flowers. Among the villagers was a young woman named Mare. She was 22 years old, kind-hearted, intelligent, and known for her beautiful singing voice. Ever since she was a child, music had been her greatest passion. Whenever she felt happy, she sang. Whenever she felt sad, she sang. Music was the language of her heart. But there was one problem. The village where she lived did not believe that girls should pursue such dreams. People expected young women to stay home, help their families, and eventually get married. Dreams were often considered unnecessary, especially dreams that involved standing on a stage before strangers. Yet every evening after completing her household chores, Mare would walk toward a quiet river outside the village. There she would sit beneath an old tree and sing. The river became her audience. The birds became her listeners. And the sky became her stage. Her mother, Salma, knew how much music meant to her daughter. Although life had never been easy for them, Salma always encouraged her. If God placed a gift inside your heart, she would say, never be ashamed of it. Those words gave Mare strength whenever she felt discouraged. One evening, as she sang near the river, she noticed something unusual. A young man stood several feet away holding a camera. He seemed completely absorbed in her performance. The moment Mare saw him, she stopped singing. The stranger smiled. You have an incredible voice. His compliment immediately made her uncomfortable. She had never seen him before. Who are you? She asked cautiously. My name is Ion. He lowered the camera. I'm sorry if I startled you. Mare remained silent. Ion pointed toward the camera. I was recording nature for a documentary project. Then I heard your voice. She didn't know what to say. Before either could continue speaking, several villagers appeared nearby. The moment they noticed Mare talking to an unfamiliar man, curious expressions appeared on their faces. Within seconds whispers began. Mare felt panic rising inside her. Without another word, she quickly left. Unfortunately, rumors traveled faster than truth. By the following morning, nearly everyone in the village seemed to have their own version of the story. Some claimed they had seen Mare secretly meeting men near the river. Others suggested even worse things. Each version became more exaggerated than the last. When Mare heard the gossip, she felt humiliated. She had done nothing wrong. Yet people were treating her as though she had committed a terrible crime. That evening Salma sat beside her daughter. Tell me exactly what happened. Tears filled Mare's eyes as she explained everything. After listening carefully, Salma pulled her into a hug. I believe you. Those 3 words meant everything. For a moment Mare felt safe again. But outside their home, judgment continued growing. Days passed. The gossip refused to disappear. Women whispered whenever Mare walked through the market. Some neighbors stopped speaking to her entirely. A marriage proposal that had recently been discussed suddenly vanished. The groom's family claimed they no longer felt comfortable moving forward. Salma was heartbroken. She knew her daughter was innocent. Yet innocence often mattered little when rumors took control. For several nights Mare cried herself to sleep. She wondered if life would always be this unfair. Then something changed. Instead of becoming weaker, she became stronger. One morning she looked at herself in the mirror and made a decision. She would stop allowing fear to control her life. If people wanted to gossip, they would gossip. If people wanted to judge, they would judge. Nothing she did could satisfy everyone. For the first time, she realized she had spent years living according to other people's expectations. And she was tired of it. Several weeks later, Ion returned to the village. This time he arrived openly. Many villagers immediately noticed. Some expected trouble, others expected scandal. Instead, Ion requested a meeting with community elders. The gathering attracted considerable attention. Inside the meeting hall, villagers sat quietly as Ion introduced himself. He explained that he worked with a media company in Lahore. During a documentary project, he had accidentally heard Mare singing. He then revealed something nobody expected. There is a national singing competition taking place in Lahore. The room became silent. Ion continued, I believe Mare should participate. Several elders exchanged surprised glances. Others looked disapproving. One man immediately objected, our daughters do not belong on television. Another agreed, this is not our way. The discussion quickly became heated. Arguments continued for hours. Some people believed opportunities like this came only once in a lifetime. Others feared change. By the time the meeting ended, no clear decision had been reached. That night Mare sat beneath the stars thinking about everything. A national competition. The possibility felt unreal. For years she had dreamed of singing professionally. Now that opportunity stood directly before her. Yet fear continued whispering inside her mind. What if she failed? What if everyone laughed at her? What if she disappointed her mother? The questions refused to disappear. The following morning an elderly woman named Bibi Rukshana visited their home. She was respected throughout the village. People listened whenever she spoke. After sitting beside Mare, she asked a simple question. Do you love singing? Yes. More than anything. Mare nodded. The old woman smiled. Then why are you asking permission from fear? Those words struck her deeply. For years she had allowed fear to make decisions on her behalf. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of disappointing others. Bibi's advice stayed with her long after the conversation ended. Gradually support began growing. Not everyone approved, but enough people believed in her. Most importantly, Salma believed in her. A month later Mare boarded a bus to Lahore. It was the first time she had ever traveled so far from home. The city felt enormous. Tall buildings stretched toward the sky. Traffic filled the streets. Bright lights illuminated everything. At first she felt completely overwhelmed. Nothing resembled the quiet village she had always known. The competition venue seemed even more intimidating. Hundreds of contestants filled the building. Some had years of professional training. Others had performed on stages since childhood. Many appeared confident and experienced. Compared to them, Mare felt invisible. As audition after audition continued, her nervousness increased. Finally her name echoed through the speakers. Her heart began pounding. Her hands trembled. Slowly she walked toward the stage. 3 judges sat before her. Rows of audience members watched silently. For a moment she froze. Every fear returned at once. Then she remembered her mother. She remembered the river. She remembered every difficult moment that had brought her here. Taking a deep breath, she began singing. The first note filled the room. Instantly everything changed. The fear disappeared. The nervousness vanished. Only the music remained. Her voice carried through the hall with honesty and emotion. People listened without moving. Some audience members closed their eyes. Others stared in amazement. When she finished, silence lasted several seconds. Then applause erupted. One judge stood. Another followed. Soon the entire room was applauding. Mare could hardly believe what was happening. For the first time in her life, she felt truly understood. The judges praised her voice. They praised her emotion. Most importantly, they praised her authenticity. She advanced to the next round. Then another. And another. Each week brought new success. Her performances attracted attention across the country. People began sharing clips online. Fans supported her. Messages of encouragement arrived daily. But success also created new problems. Not everyone was happy. Some competitors grew jealous. Rumors appeared online. Negative comments flooded social media. Strangers criticized her appearance. Others mocked her rural background. At first the criticism hurt deeply. She spent nights reading cruel messages. Sometimes she cried. Sometimes she questioned herself. Yet every time she wanted to quit, she remembered why she started. She wasn't singing for fame. She wasn't singing for money. She was singing because music lived inside her soul. Meanwhile, back in the village, people watched her journey closely. Even those who had criticized her secretly followed every episode. Children began talking about her. Young girls started dreaming bigger dreams. Without realizing it, Mare had become an inspiration. Then one evening everything changed. During a phone call, she learned that her mother had collapsed. Doctors rushed Salma to the hospital. Fear consumed her. Nothing else mattered. Not the competition. Not the fame. Not the future. She immediately returned home. Sitting beside her mother's hospital bed, she held her hand tightly. Machines beeped softly around them. Tears rolled down her face. I'm sorry, she whispered. Salma smiled weakly. For what? For leaving. Her mother squeezed her hand. You never left me. The words broke her heart. Days later doctors confirmed that Salma had a serious heart condition. Although she would recover, treatment would take time. The experience changed Mare forever. She realized that dreams were important. But family was priceless. As she sat beside her mother's bed one evening, she wondered whether she should continue the competition. The answer would change the course of her entire life. And the biggest challenge of her journey was still waiting ahead. Heart, to be continued in part 2.